Hello friends, welcome back. This is the 10th question of the test 1, and the question says that from the options given below, choose the one that completes the following statement correctly. And the statement is basically a fill in the blank statement. So it says that dash is the process of verifying users' credentials. So the options are authorization, authentication, or federation. So the correct answer to this question is authentication. Because in Azure, authentication is the process of verifying the identity of a user or a service trying to access resources. And it's about ensuring the credentials such as usernames, passwords, or tokens match what's stored in the Azure's directory services. For example, Microsoft Entra is a prime example of an authentication service. It manages users' credentials and supports various authentication methods, including password-based, multiple-factor authentication, and federated authentication. So for instance, when you sign in to the Azure portal, Microsoft Entra authenticates your credentials before granting you access. So authentication is the process of verifying the user's credentials. Now let's look at why all other options are incorrect. So authorization in Azure basically determines what resources a user or service can access and what actions they can perform on those resources. So authorization always occurs after authentication is performed successfully. So once a user is authenticated successfully, the next step is verifying what authority the user has on what resources in Azure. So let's say a user was successfully authenticated. Now this user wants to perform some actions on some resources and he has the reader role assigned to him. So a user with the reader role in Azure can view resources but cannot modify them. So if he tries to modify any resource, he will not be allowed to do so because he is not authorized to make such modifications to the resource because his authorization level is defined by the role he has been assigned, which is the reader role. And the reader role in Azure does not allow modification of resources. Meanwhile, a user with the contributor role can create and manage Azure resources but cannot grant access to others. While on the other hand, a user who has the owner role can also grant access to others. So authorization is all about checking what a user is authorized to do and what he is not authorized for. The other option that is incorrect is federation. Federation refers to the trust relationship set up between two or more domains that enables users in one domain to access resources and services in another domain without needing separate credentials. For example, imagine you work for company A, which uses Microsoft Entra to manage access to its resources. Company A partners with Company B, which also uses Microsoft Entra or any other compatible identity provider. To collaborate effectively, you need access to certain applications or resources hosted by Company B. So instead of creating a new account and password for Company B's resources, Federation allows you to use your existing Company A credentials to access Company B's resources. So this is set up through trust configurations between Company A and Company B in Microsoft Entra. So federation is for a different purpose altogether. It is not used for authenticating users. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next question.